So I'm very frustrated because I have been talking to a not recording camera for the past 10 minutes, something like that. So today we are going to be doing a story time. This story time is my first ever fight and my only fight so far, hopefully only ever. I don't really consider it a fight, it's just the time I punched a guy. So back in like 4th or 5th grade, I had this best friend. Her name was Erica. Erica had moved out. She was my best friend, and to set up like the housing situation in my neighborhood, it was like 2 rows of houses, a street in the middle, and then like a cul-de-sac. And I was in a house like near the cul-de-sac. And then there was like another street like going straight across, and then there was another street going down, 2 houses, and then another cul-de-sac. So they were like separate, but they were both like cul-de-sacs and rows of houses on both sides of the street. So my friend Erica had lived in this cul-de-sac, and I had lived in this one, but we would always, hang out. We had some friends that lived on the long street across, and we would always go outside and we would just play soccer like all day. She had moved out, and who had moved in was this family of like all boys. I don't know if it was like a single mom or not. I didn't really see much of the father. I don't know where he was. Maybe he was, in Afghanistan, or maybe he had work away, or, I don't know. That it's not my place to know. It was mostly just the mom home all the time. And I think there was like 2 like upper level boys, like maybe like a middle school boy or a high school boy or both. The only 2 people from that family I remember was the oldest brother, who was like about to go to college, and the youngest brother, who was either in my grade or a grade below me. But because I'm such a tiny person, I'm very, very, very short, he was much taller than me. He was so tall. So he was a little bit intimidating, So this younger brother, I remember hating him so much. I remember thinking, I remember being like, he took my best friend's house. Like, how dare he? I remember thinking he was annoying. I remember thinking he was disgusting. I was like, because he didn't really shower much, so he was, always dirty. And he always wore dirty clothes. And, and I don't think it was a money problem unless his parents were just, completely, not even paying attention to him. Or maybe it was just because they were just those type of parents that was like, all right, you dress yourself, you take care of yourself, you do you, boo, you do you. I don't think it was a money issue, though, because his mom, she dressed nice. She dressed really, freaking designer clothes. Girl. Her oldest son was such a gentleman. He was so sweet, and he dressed nicely as well, and they were all clean except for this one kid. So I don't know what the story is behind that, or maybe he just didn't like showers. I don't know. So anyways, we all went to the same school, and we had the same bus stop because we all lived in that little area in the back. So we all had the same bus stop, so that means that we all got off on the same stop, and we all started heading down towards our area. It wasn't a long walk, but it was longer than most walks, And my sister at this time was very, very young. I don't know how old she was, but my sister was very little. But she was in school. So she rode the bus with me. And we would walk home together. So every day, this dirty kid would step on the back of my heels, or pull my hair, or pick on me or my sister. And he was just so unpleasant and so rude. And then this one special day, I remember very vividly, he was riding my butt. He was right behind me. I am so tiny, so I'm terrified. This big huge guy is right up behind me. I can feel him breathing on my neck, and I'm so tiny. He was scaring me. I was scared, and my sister was walking up further, and he said something along the lines of, hey, why don't I come over and hang out with you and your sister? Exactly like that. Super creepy. Incredibly creepy. And I got so fed up with this guy. I turned around and I punched or I slapped or like something like, I don't really remember because of the adrenaline, but something like that. I had hit him. So I hit this guy. And my sister is already running up to the house. She didn't see anything. And I just punched this guy and I am so scared. I start crying because I felt bad and because I was scared, and that's my natural reaction. And I run home and I called my mom and I was sobbing and I told her what happened, only I made myself the victim. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened in that phone call. I just remember me sobbing and her being like, do you want me to go talk to his parents? And me being like, yeah. Because I didn't want to get in trouble for hitting this guy. Like, so my mom goes and talks to his mom, and I don't know what they said, but whatever. And then I see him a few days later, and he's like, so you didn't want to tell your mom the truth then? Like, I'm so done that I just keep walking. Like, I completely ignore him. I just keep walking. Later on in the year or something, he was moving, and he came up to me. He was like, hey, by the way, I really liked you, and I'm sorry for what I did, you know, that whole mojo jojo. So I forgive him, and if he ever watches this, I hope he knows that I am sorry too. I did what I thought had to be done at the time, which was so stupid, but it makes for a good story time, am I right? That's my story time for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you have ever gotten in a fight or anything of that sort, even if it's with your sister. Tell me all about it because I would love to read those. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little story time of the time I punched a guy. And I hope that when my mom sees this, she doesn't yell at me. Alright, bye guys. Talks to his mom.